In a previous episode of On Second Street, we talked about the war in Ukraine and looked at the big picture, what's happening, what's coming up in the future. But today we're going to talk about the opposite. We're going to talk about some individual stories of people who have left Ukraine. And I've got two guests who originally hail from Ukraine. They're currently living in Canada, and they're going to share some of their perspectives. Anastasiia Martyshko is originally from Kyiv, and Olesya Shyvikova is also originally from Ukraine. So ladies, thank you for joining me today. Let's start with you, Anastasiia. Could you tell us a little bit about your life just prior to the invasion?
Hi, Colin. Thank you very much for having me today. First of all, as you said, I lived in Kyiv. I was finishing my master's degree in law that year. I already had my job. I was working as a junior lawyer in one of capital's law firms. I had active life, great life, friends, active lifestyle. I was quite happy following my life plan, and then everything changed very quickly.
And so I know with the invasion, there was some talk for a little while ahead of time that Russia was starting to move their troops up to the border. They were getting ready for an invasion. So there was a little bit of a notice, but at the same time, it felt, at least from a Western perspective, like, well, is it really going to happen? What was it like for you when you finally heard the news that, yes, indeed, they had invaded Ukraine? What went through your head? What were some of the emotions that you felt?
Of course, there were a lot of discussions around this topic in Ukraine too. I never believed that would really happen, but I was prepared just in case. I had my alarm suitcase ready all the time. My car, like the months prior to the invasion, was always full because we discussed that with my father, and he said, if that will happen, we will have problems. Be ready. So when I woke up one morning because of the noise from my neighbors, I opened my phone and realized through messages and news that the war began. I had like 20 minutes. I packed some more stuff. I took my cat, jumped into the car, and left Kyiv as soon as possible to my hometown, to my parents' house. So I'm really glad that I was prepared because the traffic jams was so awful. Even for me, it took an hour more of my usual regular time to get to my hometown. Um, so yeah, that's how the war began for me. I was shocked, but I was pretty I realized what happened quickly. I was ready. I was thinking about it. I had a plan.
And what about with you, Olesya? Because you had come to Ukraine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in 2013. So it was several years prior, but it was also during an invasion when Russia invaded Crimea the first time. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience?
I'm from Crimea, and we did come a few months before the invasion because we felt that something is going on. It was, you feel it in the air, people were scared that this is going to happen. And we decided that there is no way we're going to stay there when they're going to come. And I also, as a journalist, I knew that I will not be able to keep silence. So not keeping silence would make you go to prison. I was at that time a young mom of a very young boy. He was 5 at that time. So we decided to look for a better place to live. And it was very surreal when they did invade Crimea. I was in Canada. It was just a few months after we came. And I was telling to everyone, I was screaming on every corner, people, you don't understand what is going on. And people, it's your internal problem. It's going to be okay. And it was not. It was, it felt like you don't belong anywhere anymore, that you're home overnight, you woke up and the only way home is to renounce your Ukrainian passport and to get Russian citizenship. So I've never been home, and it has been 10 years, and I miss it a lot, my beautiful Crimea.
I can't imagine. I know a lot of Canadians, we just can't relate here in Canada, at least those who were born and raised here, because our country's never been invaded. So it's such a foreign concept to think that you have to have these overnight bags packed or your bags packed rather, and that you'd have to flee your own country. When we come back after the break, I want to talk more about what it was like as you started to pack and leave the country, coming to Canada, what life was like here, and some of the stories that you're hearing from back home. We'll be right back. Thank you.